A science experiment gone terribly wrong. Here's what's coming up on the Nice Guys on Business.
I followed somebody on Twitter recently. I know it's hard to believe. I actually followed somebody on Twitter.
That's good.
And I got this reply back, a direct message. It said, "Hey, thanks for following me. Sorry about the auto reply." I'm like, no, you're not sorry about it, or you wouldn't have done it.
No, you're not.
It's not like Twitter told you have to reply to me.
Well, I'm going to go then. And I don't need any of this. I don't need this stuff. And I don't need you. I don't need anything. Except this ashtray. And this paddle game. The ashtray and the paddle game. And that's all I need. And this remote control. The ashtray, the paddle game, and the remote control. And that's all I need. And these matches. The ashtray, these matches, and the remote control and the paddle ball. I don't need one other thing. Not one. Except the Nice Guys on Business podcast. Need an education on how to grow your business? The Nice Guys are here to help. Learn about great customer service, networking, and how just being nice can help you prosper. Now, here are your hosts, Doug Sandler and Strickland Bonner.
Welcome back. Welcome back. The backup recording is going. Funkin' fans, it is Thursday. My name is Strickland Bonner. On the other side of the microphone, Mr. Doug Sandler. And we have special guest, Mr. Sean Carpenter today.
We have a love triangle working.
Hello, boys.
That would be a stretch. I don't know if that's the best choice of words for what we have going here, but if you want to run with that, okay.
Well, if we're going to use Sean and Strick, I think the word stretch is probably a really good reference with love triangle.
I'm not even going to give you the drum roll on that because I'm just not going to. I'm going to let that one slide.
This is like a Noah Kagan reference gone bad all of a sudden. Doug thinks.
Oh, jeez. Yes. If you have no idea what we're talking about, just search on my website, Noah Kagan.
Back to Noah Kagan. That would be episode 381.
Wow. Nice job, Strick.
He's like the
I was going to give you a credit for knowing all the
like
episode
Rain
numbers.
Man.
Yeah, not so much.
Totally.
No,
Hey, Sean, do you remember what episode you were on?
I've been on a couple, but I don't remember the episode was just me as a guest. I was out there with you guys in Baltimore for the
that was in November for the Mastermind.
Yeah, that was blast.
Well, wait a minute. You actually did get your episode number 251, great sales advice with number one Funkin' fan Sean Carpenter.
You see, now you just looked that up in my OneNote. I know because I'm looking at the same thing now. That's funny.
My search box on my website does a really good job. All I have to do is type in any of the words that are in the actual post, and it will come up. So that's how I did it. So interestingly enough, I did not use OneNote in order to do that, but I have enjoyed my experience that I have as a user of OneNote. Thank you, Strickland, for introducing that into my life.
You're quite welcome. I'm glad that we have got connected on that. It's all good.
Sean, welcome, man. So, you are the number one referred to name probably on the entire podcast, aside from Mar. I would say that you would be that guy. Well,
I appreciate that. It's good to be a fan, but also a friend. And I've enjoyed it. Hanging out with you guys for, more than the last year. But I've gone back and caught up on a lot of the old episodes. I'm pretty sure if I look through my Overcast, I have favorited all of them.
All right. That's important. Favorite it on Overcast.
It is funny because I think a lot of us that do that on a regular basis, if you look back to last week's shows, there's probably one or two that you forgot. And it's so easy to just click, and give you guys the rightful recognition you deserve.
Well, thank you. So that allows us not to have to self-promote. So thank you, Sean, very much for doing that for us.
And while I'm here, I'm also a Patreon's patron. So go to...
So, Sean, how can they do that?
I think they can go to patreon.com/niceguys.
That's it exactly.
They can $1,500 spot I believe is still available. And if someone gives $1,500, I will go and hang out with them if they want. But
wow.
Yeah. But
so you'll get three of us.
As little as $1 a day, but $2. Come on, guys, $2 at least.
We won't even charge you $1 a day. We'll charge you only $1 a month. We'll try that one.
No, there you go.
You could pay $1 a day, but that would be $30 for the month. But we'll take anything. So thanks for the support.
Sean, are you sure you can join? I'm looking at your 2017 World Tour. You got a lot of cities you're going to.
I am. I have a busy fall schedule talking to some real estate audiences, north, south, east, and west, and I'm really excited about that.
Sean, why don't you
I see
share
Las Vegas on there. When are you in Vegas?
I'm in Vegas for Gen Blue.
Yeah, rub it in.
Yeah,
the one that we're not getting to yet.
Which is our Coldwell Banker International Conference, and we're going to be at the MGM. So should be a good time.
Yeah, but what's interesting about what he's saying, Strick, and just so you know, maybe Stephanie Sursland felt really sorry that we did not ever make the connection with Gen Blue, so she invited me out to speak to her office. So I'm actually going out to Iowa City in September before the Gen Blue conference. So Strick, you're the only one left out in the cold right now.
Yeah,
sure.
You're going to be there. You're going to be in Iowa the week before I am, Doug. So Stephanie is going to have a little nice guys love that early September.
I would just like to add, I am so much happier that I'm going before you rather than after you, because what I've heard about your reputation, Sean, is that nobody wants to follow Sean Carpenter. You're just that good.
Well, that's probably not the case, but Stephanie's a huge mentor and supporter of mine. She was one of the very first people to ever hire me to speak. And she runs just an absolutely amazing company there in Iowa City, Coldwell Banker Real Estate Professionals. Just classy organization, and you'll love their culture, Doug, and you guys are on. I wouldn't call Baltimore an East. I mean, you are on the East Coast, but you're not Boston, you're not New York City. You guys are probably a little more down to earth.
We're not a Northeast. Yeah, we're definitely more southern in our style.
But you will love the people of Iowa City and Coralville and that area of Iowa. Just
Nice.
Some of the country calls us flyover. Most of the country calls us nice people.
Well, you guys are nice people. I would agree. Hey, Strick, guess who I heard from on LinkedIn?
Who?
Okay, so Sean, not this Sean, not our Sean, but another Sean, who is Eat, Drink, Stay, Dubai. I did not even know that Sean was actually his name. We just kept referring to him as Eat, Drink, Stay, Dubai. Or no, we
kept referring to him incorrectly as Eat, Sleep, Drink, Stay, something, whatever. Yeah, incorrectly. Dubai. Sorry, Sean.
So he was dealing with some business issues, some family issues, some family illness, but he says that he is just about ready, primed to come on the show. Hey, Sean, have we always made reference to him since you have been a fan of the show?
Yes, well, in that sense, but if you go back to the episode where you guys were talking about, I believe, OneNote and Evernote and comparing the two, and then he kind of jumped your shit about a product endorsement, and you don't, and you guys were like, wait, we weren't endorsing anything, we were just talking.
Right.
But that was in the last year, probably, yeah. So
he's Strick. He's just about ready to come on the show. So we need to clear a spot for him. Do we have any room?
We can make room. Eat, Drink, Stay, Dubai. And we're actually going to start getting it right, because if we're going to talk to him, we need to get it right.
I don't understand exactly what position he has, because he makes reference oftentimes in either the tweets that he shares or wherever I'm seeing posts from him about something to do with the president and the United Arab Emirates. I don't really know. He sounds like he's got some pretty highfalutin connections.
I get the feeling that he lives in the UAE, and that he's got things where he talks about travel and like more luxury travel at reasonable prices. But we'll find out more when we talk to him.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we are into today's show. We've gotten the Overcast recommendation. We've gotten the recommendation for Patreon.com. Do we need to do anything before we haven't done any read? Are we going to read the topics, or are we just going to get into them?
We already did the speed read of the topics, so we don't really need to do that. We could just spin the wheel and dive right in.
Do you remember what the topics are that are coming from Tuesday?
No, I don't remember them, but they're on the wheel, so it's okay.
You have any questions about the wheel, Sean? I asked Strick to always give me some visualizations for it. Are you quite comfortable with what you feel like the wheel looks like in your head?
I'm good with what I have in my head. I don't need that changed. So spin the wheel, Strick.
Doug needs very detailed visuals to get the wheel in his. We still need Mustafa to do a show art for the wheel.
You are still long and strong.
That was a good spin right there. Yeah.
I know. I need to. I really do need to not hit it so hard. I think need it.
Strange. Strick's getting a tattoo today.
Well, that's not the topic that came up, but we can talk about that if you want.
Well, why don't we start with what do you want, Sean? It's your call, man. Hey, you're the guest.
Well, I think it's kind of cool so let's talk about the tattoo for a second, Strick. This is it'll be your first one, right?
My first one.
And
yes.
We established before we went live, I do not have a tattoo, never have, and probably not planning on getting one. And Doug, you do or do not?
I do. I have two.
You have two. Okay.
Yeah.
And so, Strick, was there a reason behind it? Is there, first of all, we'll talk about what you're going to get in a second. What prompted you to make this decision?
So my wife over the last couple of years has gotten a couple. My daughter now has one who's 17. She really wanted one. Like, it's just like, I don't know. I've never really wanted to before, but I'm just kind of getting the itch and thought it might be fun. Yep. Wanted to try it. And what I'm getting two koi fish in like a yin yang design. Like I saw this design on somebody somewhere and I thought it was really cool. And it's kind of a watercolorish look. It's not like real sharp lines. And we'll probably post it as show art or put it up on the.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah, we'll put it on the Facebook group or something. But the koi fish, it represents overcoming adversity and strength. And I like the yin yang and the balance. And, I don't know, just felt like it was time.
And you're going back shoulder, is that right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to do it on my left shoulder, yeah.
Okay.
I remember the healing process of the tattoo. I have two tattoos. One's on my arm, and that one actually the healing process took a considerable amount of time. I wasn't sure why it took so long, and I really thought I felt like it was getting all like, messy and scabby and stuff, but it actually came through really after it all healed. It took a little while to heal. It took a couple of weeks for it to really mellow out into what I now have as my tattoo. But as it was healing, I'm like, oh God, is this going to be okay? It actually turned out nice.
Strick, let me ask you a question. What's the thought process your thought process, not people's thought process, but you're going to get a tattoo where you will not be able to see it except for a mirror. What's the thought process behind getting something that's a work of art and it means something to you, but you're not going to be able to see it?
It is interesting because I was thinking that, if I got it on my arm, that it'd be easier to show off to people and I could see it myself and everything. I don't know. I just feel like I just want to do it on my shoulder. I think it might be a little, I like the detail of the one that I saw. And I think if I got it on my arm, it might be a little too small. Like I wouldn't be able to have the detail.
Oh my
but
gosh.
You're right.
I've seen some that has huge detail on people's arm, but that I'm not, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, but you may be right. I don't know. The thought had crossed my mind. I don't know why. Just feel like doing it.
Yeah.
Are you married?
So it'd be visible when you're at the beach or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but that's the only time, right? Like if I want to show it off, I got to freaking take my shirt off. It's not going to be so easy to just, hey, check this out.
Are you married to the idea that it's going to be on your shoulder, or could it possibly be on your arm now?
I don't know. Maybe on my arm. I might think about it. I got a couple hours. I'm doing
a lot of people get it like on their calf, so when they're wearing shorts, you can see it.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but arm maybe. I don't know. I got to think about it. Maybe I will. I got a couple hours to decide.
I'm curious because if I remember correctly, now I can't go back to a specific conversation that you and I had, but I think that the reason that you hadn't gotten a tattoo is because you couldn't decide what you wanted, or were you ever against the idea of having a tattoo?
I've never been against the idea. I just have kind of always felt like, it wasn't for me. I just didn't really want to do it, whatever. But I haven't really ever been against the idea, so I don't know.
What put you over the top? Again, curiosity is just is at me here. When you told me yesterday that you're getting a tattoo, or last week that you're getting a tattoo today, just thinking, really? I mean, you just kind of dropped it on me. I mean, not that I care. You can do whatever you want. It's your body. But I was just thinking, we didn't even have any conversations like leading up to, I'm thinking about getting a tattoo. I really would like to get one. Don't know what I want to get, or none of that.
I don't know. Just, I have no idea. There really wasn't a lot of, I don't know. Honestly, I really don't know.
Yeah, I mean, when I had mine, I had no intention when I went to Las Vegas that trip that I was going to come home with a tattoo. And I just did. Both times that I went to Las Vegas, the same thing.
Is that right? I didn't realize you didn't plan either of those.
No, I didn't plan on getting a tattoo. But when I was out there, the guys were getting tattoos, and I actually 3 of the people that I now know have the same exact tattoo on their arm that I have.
Is that right? I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, Fresh ended up getting the same tattoo that I got at the same time. I mean, we were actually sitting for it at the same time.
I did not know that.
Yep.
Interesting.
They gave you discounts?
No, I don't think. Well, maybe they gave him the discount. I don't know. I don't believe I got the discount. But it's funny you say that, Sean, because Strick, in doing some comparison shopping, he discovered that locally you can get a tattoo for a whole mess cheaper than you can in Las Vegas. The Las Vegas places were extremely expensive.
Less than half the price. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they probably get you in that moment when you're taking the chance, and you're like, F it, I'm just going to do it now, and you're going to pay whatever you're going to pay, right?
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Like Strickland, you talked a while back about that you rented a Lamborghini or Ferrari or something like that. And, you can probably do that in Baltimore, but, it's just kind of cooler to do it when you're making some bank,
Exactly. When you're out in Vegas and you're feeling like, hey, I'm on vacation, it's okay if I spend a couple extra bucks that I wouldn't do locally. Totally. That's the mindset.
That tattoo industry is a lot like our real estate industry. A lot of working on referrals, right? I mean, you probably asked around or saw someone's work and said, hey, where'd you get that done? How'd you pick the artist or the parlor where you're going to go to?
So my wife has gotten 2 done, and like I said, my daughter got 1 done too. And so it's the same shop that did theirs, and so that's how I got to know them, and I know they do good work. But you're right, it's totally referrals. I mean, that's exactly why I went there, because they went there.
Did your daughter need to get parental permission to get hers because she's under 18?
Yep, she did.
Did you have to be there when she was getting it done?
I don't know if we had to be there. My wife was there. I was. They did it on a Saturday night when I was playing a gig. So,
and what'd she get? What'd she get?
She got.
Well, she's one of the triplets, right?
Exactly.
So she got a tattoo that said, "I'm the good one." Right?
She got one number 3.
We have a cat. Let's see if I have a picture of it. I can send it to you guys. She got this cool design on her leg of our cat who passed away years ago. I'll send it to you guys, but it's like a black and white, like an outline design, and it's very cool. But I'm gonna see if I can find a picture of it.
I'm curious how the whole situation is going to go down for you, Strick. I'm excited for you because I know that with mine, I'm constantly, especially the one on my arm that I can see, I'm constantly looking at my tattoo, and it's not even really that intricate a design. It's just a couple of Chinese letters, but I've always wanted to get it colorized, so I'm thinking about maybe going back and doing some additional work, or maybe getting the band all the way around my arm. I like it. I think it's cool. And I think that it definitely when you see somebody that has a tattoo that you don't expect to have a tattoo, because I'm not one of those guys that would necessarily always be the one that you would envision having a tattoo. Maybe a little too nerdy for that.
Right, totally.
But just to have one is it's kind of cool. I like it. I like it for that reason.
Doug, have you ever asked a Chinese person read my tattoo and tell me what letters it says?
Yes, many confirmations that it does mean happy life. Many confirmations. My friends made fun of me and says it says like egg roll or something like that. Like no, I know. And
maybe
I
Doug's like the 2 letters he gets is FU.
Maybe so. Maybe.
That's good.
Oh, that's funny. All right, Strick. So we spun the wheel, but we didn't pick up the topic. So do you have a topic that
the topic that it landed on? It says Anna picks new title of show producer, no longer production assistant.
So I get an email from Anna. Let me see if I can find the email. I didn't realize that she wasn't happy with her title. I didn't, or maybe that it was. Let me see if I can find it here. Let me just type in her name. Let's see. Show producer. Okay, here we go. Doug, she tells me how many hours that she worked this week. She goes, in regards to my title, am I able to say show producer? I like the title a lot, haha, but I don't want to have it unless I'm really putting in that kind of work. So apparently there's a difference between show producer and production assistant.
You don't see the difference there?
Well, I see that there is, I guess the title of assistant versus producer, I guess mentally maybe there's I don't know. She can call herself CEO as far as I'm concerned. I don't care. She does great work. I love her, and I would not want her to not feel. I think is it a part of the millennial experience to have a title that is appropriately like. I don't care what my title is. Do you?
Yeah, but I don't think that's a millennial thing. I really think that is just a person thing. I mean, I associate production assistant with the gopher, the helper. And I think a lot of people do. Doug, you don't care about the title because you haven't had a day job in however many years, right? Like you make up your own title. That's why you don't care about it.
Right. I guess so. Right.
Yeah. No, I totally understand. And obviously if she's going to be doing the social media for you, and she's going to be doing the similar work on our other turnkey podcasts. She totally is she's a show producer. Yeah.
All right. Sean, what do you say?
Hey, she's done a lot of work for you, and obviously a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. She can call herself whatever she wants. She does a great job.
That's the way I feel about it too.
Yeah.
Amen to that. She's a great worker, and she's dedicated, and she put in so many hours. I mean, before we even paid her a penny, she had probably worked a year for us.
Right. Exactly. Yep.
Amazing.
You guys do a good job.
Amazing.
You guys do a good job of making sure you talk about her a lot. So a lot of the Nice Guys community kind of knows in the background that there's a lot more that happens besides just the two of you guys bullshitting each week.
Extremely valuable person to our community. Anna now does all of the posting of the show onto my website, my social media pages, everywhere. Without Anna, all of that stuff, that production, that side of the production, that would all break down. I don't want to do that stuff. I think that she is better at it. I've looked at the way that she's worded the things on my posts. She actually does a better job than I did with it, and I think we get more play and more bounce out of it because she does a better job. So all around, yeah, Anna, you can.
And
have
the cool
whatever
thing,
title that you want.
the more she does it, the more you trust her to do. So it saves you time to not even have to double. You know what I'm saying? It's a good spot to be in.
Yeah, I agree. I've never had anybody that has worked. I don't want to say that she works for us because I don't like that idea. But I guess she really, she does work with us.
Yeah.
I've never had anybody that's worked with me before, other than a partner. So I look at her and I just say that she's a partner in this, and she's doing a great job. So
and it was cool earlier at the beginning of the month when you guys read off the Patreon patrons who sponsor more than $5 a month, and you guys mentioned that anything above $100 is going towards her. So that's, I think, $47, right? You're $147 last month.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. That's great.
She's earned it. She's earned every cent. So Anna, you can have whatever title that you want. If you want to be show producer, you can be. If you would like to take audio engineer and add that into your Strickland will gladly give up his responsibilities.
Yeah, she can take the title as long as she takes the responsibility too. I'm good with that. It's totally fine.
Yeah. All right, that's a good one. That's a good topic. Well-intentioned topic.
Love it. Okay.
Spin the wheel.
So we ready? Move on to spin the wheel. Move on to the next topic.
Can you shorten the wheel spin a little bit, or not possible? Probably not possible.
Yeah. There we go.
Well, you just stopped it with your foot.
Dude, you're not supposed to tell
It's like
everybody
those drunk
that.
guys that stop the ceiling fans with their tongue.
Oh, jeez.
You ever seen those YouTubes?
You ever dust your ceiling fan?
Sometimes, but not as often as I should.
Yeah, there is a huge amount of dust that's on the leading edge of the ceiling fan blades.
Yes.
Really not good.
No, crazy. Yeah.
I can only imagine how much dust is in my air, and much of that like dead skin cells. Ugh. All right, what did it fall on, Strick?
Hotel reservation changes. Why do they take so long?
Is this your topic, Sean? Whose topic is this?
No, this is my topic. I'm curious to ask Sean about this as well, because I know, Sean, you do a lot of traveling, so I'm sure you do a lot of hotel. Recently, I made a hotel reservation, and I made the reservation online. Piece of cake, right? Takes all of 5 minutes. They give you all the questions. You give them your credit card, boom, done, right? Well, I had to make a change to it, and it was a change that I couldn't make online. I had to call them, right?
Oh, see, that's pain.
It was like a 30-minute call, and I'm like, dude, like, if you would have let me do this online, I could do it in 5 minutes. I don't understand why it takes so goddamn long.
Why did they make you do it online?
Was it a date change, or you had to change facilities, or what?
So I'm going to Vegas actually in 2 days. So Doug and I are on our way to Podcast Movement on Tuesday. And I thought the band is off for the weekend, so I thought I would make an excuse to do a couple days in Vegas and then head over to Podcast Movement. So I book a Vegas hotel, and I booked 3 nights at the Link, which is I've never actually stayed there before. And when I made the reservation, it said up to a $75 food credit for the time that I'm there, right? So I can eat for free, right? But it said up to, and then when I got the reservation, it didn't tell me exactly how much it was, right? So first thing I was calling to get a confirmation on how much that was. And like, it took the guy like 10 minutes to find that in the first place. And I'm like, dude, like when I'm checking in, how are they going to know? They have to it should be right there. It's obvious, right? Well, it was only $25 for the whole trip, right? I had also, I got an offer for 2 free midweek nights at the hotel, and it was pretty inexpensive already, like the Sunday and Monday rates. But I thought, you know what? Let's see if I take my free nights, I won't get the food credit. So I'm like, okay, well, if it's a $75 food credit and the free nights are only going to save me $50, then I'll take the food credit. So that's what I was trying to confirm. Food credit was $25 for the week. And I'm like, you know what, dude, here's the deal. Can we change this? I want to take these 2 nights and I want to comp them, basically use my free offer under the. And it took like 15 minutes for him to get this and get the information. I mean, it was huge pain in the butt. Huge pain in the butt.
Yeah. First of all, it's frustrating when you use one medium to book the appointment and then you have to use a different medium to change or cancel the appointment, right? Oh, you're in the wrong line. You got to go to. It's like the BMV, right?
Oh yeah.
You're in the wrong line. You got to go to there. If someone direct message you on Twitter, then direct message them back on Twitter. Don't send them a Facebook message, right? Use the same channel.
Why do people do that? You connect with them on Facebook, and they're like, "I have a LinkedIn account too. Here's my link." I'm like, you know what? We haven't even started a relationship, and are you already moving me to another channel? Why can't we just stay here? Why can't we stay here?
That's one of my big pet peeves on social, when you connect with someone on Twitter and they say, hey, thanks for following me on Twitter. Subscribe to me on Facebook and visit me on Pinterest, and I'm going to sell you something.
I followed somebody on Twitter recently. I know it's hard to believe. I actually followed somebody on Twitter.
That's good.
And I got this reply back, a direct message. It said, hey, thanks for following me. Sorry about the auto reply. I'm like, no, you're not sorry about it, or you wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
Right.
Because they didn't
it's
even
not
know
like
they
Twitter
sent the auto
told
reply.
you have to reply to me.
Yeah. To wrap up the topic on the wheel, Strick, I'm a huge Marriott fanboy. I love going on Marriott. And so when I book on Marriott.com, I can do everything through there. I can cancel, I can change reservations. But then they have such a good social care team. If I just tweet out, hey, at Marriott, can you double check I made my reservation properly? Within usually 12 hours, one of them has reached back to me and made sure I'm where I need to be. Vegas is different though. It's a different animal out there. The Vegas hotels, and I can only imagine the turnover they have on their staff.
But it's about customer service, and it's about the customer experience that you are providing.
Yeah, I can't discount the fact that the customer service, just because it's a Las Vegas hotel, doesn't mean that they should have crappy customer service.
No, you think it should be better? You think it should be better with so many choices out there? You want to, you think they all are the same, right? The general public thinks all hotels out there are the same. Well, clearly, Strick, they're not. There are better hotels than some for the service, for the amenities, for the quietness, for the
Did you get it all worked out, or did it not get worked out?
It got worked out. It just I was on the phone for 32 minutes to just make this simple change. And I'm like, I'm sorry, that's just too much time. It was just stupid. Anyway, that was it. But that wasn't, whenever in the past, if I've had the same situation, I know where I've made a hotel reservation and I've had to call for some reason, it always seems to take forever when you do it over the phone. When you have to do any kind of change over the phone.
I think that a lot of places are very in tune to you being able to do everything online unless there's an issue. And that's really when you need it the most. When you need customer service the most is when you actually, sometimes you don't get it,
Yeah. Yep.
So so you got it straightened out, so that's good, and you're going to Las Vegas, and then we're going over to podcast. Strick, I can only imagine what we're going to do at Podcast Movement.
Oh my gosh, it's going to be nuts.
Where's Podcast Movement at?
It's in Anaheim.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, it'll definitely be fun. Good time. We're going to learn a lot of stuff, I think, Doug. We're gonna figure out what we don't know right now.
Yeah, well, the issue is that we've been doing this for 2.5 years just without a net. We're not. We have no idea if we have no best practices. We really don't. We've created our own systems, and so far, I think in terms of running our own business through Turnkey, I think we're developing a really cool system. But we have no idea. There could be a better system or an easier system or a system that actually could be more efficient to use. So it'll be fun to go out there and check it out as well.
Yep, I'm looking forward to it.
All right, let's spin the wheel. Man, we're like zipping through these. We've got 2 topics covered. Let's do another. Good.
I'm channeling my inner Mar. Focus, guys, focus.
We really are. Sean, there's something about having you here that's really keeping us. We were completely wrecked on last week. We didn't even spin the wheel. We were so excitable.
Total disaster. It is Freedcamp rocks.
I've been loving this new project management software, and honestly, Strick, before you even introduced me to Freedcamp, I was not a fan of anything involving the word project at all. Mm-mm. So management. No, it was horrible. And I think what I like about it, because through a number of associations that I was on boards and served on, committees and stuff, they send you like I was on Basecamp, and Basecamp very similar to Freedcamp, and it's project management software. But I had no one that was there just to kind of pull me through it or even hold my hand or help me to understand anything. So I would get all these emails and I would just ignore them. But we have this Freedcamp now, that project management software that you set up and you've created, and now I'm just like an observer in it, and you're kind of showing me things about it, and it's really cool. I mean, is that something you use on a regular basis? Like, people use this stuff?
So, and by the way, listeners, Freedcamp, it's FREEDCAMP.com. This is not an endorsement, although who knows, maybe they'll sponsor us. You can get a free version of it. It's basically project management software. So it just helps keep you organized, and it's all online. You can pay extra to get extra bells and whistles and stuff, but even the basic version is really, really good. Yeah. And it's the first time I've used it. I've had other project management software. We have something that we use at work called Confluence. I think that's our and it's freaking complicated. I mean, it's really, really cool, right? There's so much you can do with it, but it's intimidating. It's too much almost. Like, if you don't know what you're doing, forget it, right? So I was doing some research as we're getting Turnkey Podcast rolling and getting more customers in to say, hey, we need to find a way to get organized. And there's some other ones out there, Liquid Planner I looked at, and Easy Projects or something like that I looked at. And they're all decent, but Freedcamp, man, it's a great balance of features, but it's also simple enough that you can totally dive in and figure it out, and it's not overwhelming. But it's got a lot of it. It's really good. I really like it.
Yeah, I love that and again, I was not a fan of project management software because I really never had a system in place for anything. My system was always just, I think, Sean, you taught me about a system that you use for, do you still use, what's it called, the five H's or H5 or what do you call it?
The 4H Club.
The 4H Club. So yes. You're doing your, I think there's like a high, well, wait a minute, what was the high five?
Handwritten notes.
Right,
I do a hot sheet, which is real estate specific, and then I do happy birthdays, and then the high fives. And so that's when I do 5 Facebook comments, 5 retweets, 5 likes on Instagram, 5 texts.
So to a certain degree, that is like a small system, a little system, and Freedcamp, it's like this. It's like this catch basin for all of these things. So you can have these tasks and you can group the tasks into milestones. And I think it's pretty fascinating how this all works, because you never realize how much shit really falls between the cracks when you don't have a system that's good, that's in place.
And I'm a big believer, guys, in whatever system you can find that you will use, right? It's going to the gym. How many people are members of a gym and they go there and they don't have a system and software management or project management? It doesn't matter what it is. Freedcamp, that's great that you guys like it. Keep using it.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, everybody's brain works different. Different people like or need different things. So it's not like, hey, use Freedcamp, everything else sucks. Freedcamp works for us, and it works great for us. And I'm not saying Confluence sucks. It's amazing. It's just too complicated for me. But you got to have the system and use it. And with Turnkey Podcast, as we're getting more clients, we have to have this in place to make sure that we are doing all the audio editing, making sure we're crossing all the T's, dotting all the I's. And we're going to have other members of the team like Anna and Mar who are going to be responsible for things as well. And we need to confirm that all the stuff's getting done and getting done on time and getting done right. And so Freecamp is basically, it's all going to be linked into that. Everybody can see it. Everybody can log into it. Everybody can make notes. So if Anna has something that needs to be done and she's got an issue, she puts a note up and it's in the discussion board. So anybody can see the note. So maybe it's something Doug could solve or something I could solve. The other cool thing with it that we haven't even gotten into yet is it has block off times where you can assign things to people, but they can have on their calendar when they're not going to be around. So let's say Anna's going to be on vacation for a week and I try to assign something to her for that week. It's going to warn me and say, hey, by the way, she ain't going to be around. So you can't assign this to her. It's really cool.
I'll tell you, I'm a big, Doug, you've seen me present. If I was going to take the word scalability and make it an acronym, the S would be systems. Right. Yeah. And what you guys are looking to do with Turnkey Podcasting is if you guys can consistently do, start to finish a new customer and then customer 2, you systematically do it through Freecamp. Then all of a sudden when you bring in Mar or Anna, it's not a matter of teaching them how to do it. It's just, here's the system. Right. And it minimizes your time to teach a new person how to do it because it's already done.
Well, this is, again, part of the relationship where it's so perfect to have Strickland as a part of this because I'm not that guy. And Strick came in and he said, we've got to put a project management software, a project management program or system together. I think one of the things that you're leaving out, Strick, which is really the key, and maybe he said it and I just didn't realize, or maybe it's just so obvious that I'm not even seeing it, is that this is something we introduce to the client too.
Right.
So it's not just us that's looking at the system, we're plugging our client into this too. So if we have John Smith as a client of ours and we have all of these projects and tasks and milestones that we're trying to hit, it's not just us hitting them, we've got to pull the client through this process too. And John Smith loves the comfort of being able to plug into our project management software just for their project alone. And then we can duplicate. And that's where this thing really comes in, in big for me.
Yeah, and it's not only the transparency of allowing the customer to say, hey, you can see exactly what's going on. You can see what's coming up. And, if there are tasks for you, you can complete it right here and we'll know exactly when it's done. If you have questions, you can reach out to us. But it's also that everything is centralized. How many times have you said, oh, wait a minute, where's that email from that guy? Or where's that attachment?
I just said that. Right. I just said that to you earlier. I'm like, where did I put those usernames? I can't seem to find those right now.
Exactly.
It's interesting if you have it in Basecamp. It's
all in the project. So if we've got Joe as a client, all of Joe's stuff is in Joe's project. And Sean, you said it, it's about templatizing it. So what we're setting up right now is we have a process that we are, tweaking and massaging right now to figure out the best way to do it as far as all of the steps that need to happen for each new customer. When we have somebody that knows nothing at all about podcasting, basically we're like, okay, here's how we teach them and here's what they need to learn and here's what they need to work on and here's how we need to walk through it. And we have it set up with tasks and we have it set up with milestones. Now we're going to create a template that says, okay, you do this in week 1 and you do this in week 2 and you do this in week 3. And we've realized already, which is perfect, that different people have different needs and they also have different holes in their skill set. So let's say we have customer number 1 who is really good with social media, but not a technical person, right? So the first week, we're going to talk about equipment. We're going to talk about mics. We're going to get them comfortable with that right off the bat. And the social media stuff, I'm going to push back a couple of weeks. Whereas customer 2 is very tech savvy, but maybe they don't know what they're doing at all with social media. Well, first thing we got to do is we've got to start getting your social media channels set up, getting people to know who you are. So we got to move that up to week 1. It's still all the same tasks, but within the template, you can move it around for the customer.
Sure.
Brilliant.
No, that's great. And now does Freecamp, does it have the ability to invite Joe in and he gets a door into a certain portion of the transaction, so to speak?
Yep, that's it exactly. You can have different user levels. So like Doug and I are administrators and we can do everything. Let's say we have Anna and Mar and they have specific tasks. We can give them access to specific projects.
And the customer doesn't have to see those tasks, right?
Exactly.
They can only see what they
right?
great.
We can let them see them, or we can make the choice to say, no, they don't get to see those. And Anna and Mar can edit those tasks. They can change them. They can complete them. They can make notes on them. Whereas the customer can see the things that we let them see and also can edit. Let's say we have specific tasks that we're going to assign to them. Like, hey, you need to sign up for Twitter. You need to sign up for LinkedIn, that kind of thing. That's a task for them.
Yeah,
they
I like
can
that a lot.
complete it. It's great. And then we have discussion boards within each project. So if the customer has a question, they basically put a note on their discussion board, and everybody who is a member of that project gets notified, hey, there's a new note on the discussion board. So anybody can jump in and answer it.
Very cool. I mean, to really boil it down into it's the consumer walking into McDonald's. I say what I want off the menu. The people I don't need to know how the number 3 is made.
Right.
Make it, and then I still get some say in what type of dipping sauce I want for my nuggets, and that's good. I like that a lot.
Yeah, it's really exciting. And again, we're still, we're modding it. We're getting used to it, but man, it's really powerful, and it's really going to help keep us on track and keep us organized. It's all about setting that system up.
Strickland, you brought this into my life. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's so good to be able to, other than that, you're just bringing on a new client and you're reinventing the wheel every time the client comes on board. Project management software, whether it's Freedcamp, this was not a Freedcamp endorsement or product recommendation or review, but so far I'm looking at it and it rocks.
Yeah.
That's
I
great.
really like it so far too.
All right. Want to do one more spin?
I don't know. We're 39 minutes in. We could. I mean, what's crazy? We're actually almost out of topics. I don't even need to spin because there's only one topic left. Hang on. This could be amazing. We could.
I was afraid of this.
No, but we're already 40 minutes in. I mean, we could wrap the show right now, but I don't think we've ever gotten through every single topic. Have we?
I wonder if there's a noise or something that happens, Doug.
It's like it's the bottomless pit.
It's like at the end of Super Mario Galaxy where it says like you've reached the end of the galaxy. Congratulations, you get the princess.
Splash. You just hear a big splash. It's like a
or remember the game.
turd hitting
Remember the
toilet.
video game. Remember the video game Cubert.
Oh yeah.
And when you fell off the little design, it made a noise at the bottom of the machine.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it. All right, we can do.
What's the last topic?
The last topic?
The very last topic is Doug's perfect role. Make no cold calls, build relationships, present the product or service, and close the sale.
The more this turnkey podcast, my speaking business, and this whole reinvention. See, in my DJ business, literally it is ideal. People call me. I educate them, whether I close the deal or not. I don't care. It's not that I don't care if I get the business or not, but I know when I don't close the deal, there's going to be another call because I've just been sold out for the last 20 some years. So for me, the ideal situation is just somebody calling me, asking me for information, thanking me for my advice, and calling me back and saying I'm ready to go, or saying that on that phone call. So I don't want to make cold calls. I like to build relationships. I like to present my product, educate people, and I don't mind closing the deal. And I feel like a hero. So that for me is like the total. All of the other stuff that's involved in a business, it's like, like the project management software that we just spent that much time talking about. Mm-hmm. Honestly, Strick, if I never saw it in my life, I would be okay. You get excited, like you're jazzed about it, right? I mean, you like
you can't tell by the way I talk about it, right?
Right. I'm saying you like to put it all together. You enjoy the process. It's kind of like a jigsaw puzzle all pieced together. I don't give a fuck about the jigsaw puzzle. I don't even want to see the software ever in my entire life. If I have to have it, it may as well be extremely organized the way Freedcamp is. So for me, I'd rather just sit back and do what I do, which is, Sean, what are those 3 things that you do? You call it, you say, build
relationships, solve problems, and have fun.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want to do. How do I do that? Only that.
But it's an interesting business model when you think about your DJing, right? Because you're right, you're not required to close a deal, but that's because you've hired an agency to do that for you. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but that is the business model there. You've hired an agency, you pay them a commission, they find the customers. Now, there are times on occasion where somebody will ask about you and you will need to talk about your product. But Doug, you're exactly right. You don't need to close it. When somebody calls you, the agency says, hey, Doug, they like you, but they're not really sold. Hey, no problem.
Right.
You make a phone call. You talk about the product, which in this case is you.
Me.
And then you pass it back to the agency to close the sale. How great is that?
Yeah, I can close it if I choose to, but oftentimes I will get to the point where I don't want them to even feel like I'm part of the sales process. I'm just the guy that's just giving them the education. It's ultimately, it's the best. It almost is like you feel like that rock star that you just, and not that being a DJ or owning Turnkey Podcast or anything is being a rock star, but it's almost like you feel really important when somebody calls you and says, hey, Sean, tell me all about how do I, if I need to get my house ready for sale, how do I do that? And then you give them all the information. Then if they call you back, great. If they don't call you back, that's okay too. But just it's a fun process.
I think when you let go of that, there's a quote by Deepak Chopra. I just looked up he says, in my life, nothing goes wrong. When things seem to meet my expectations, I let go of how I think things should be. Or when things seem to not meet my expectations, I let go of what things should be. He says, it's a matter of not having any attachment to any fixed outcome. And when you don't have the attachment to the outcome, you get the income, It's
wow.
Yeah, it's exactly what you said, Doug.
Say that last line again. When you don't,
it's a matter of not having any attachment to any fixed outcome. And then I said, when you don't worry about what the outcome is, that's when the income comes in, because you're just you're in such a groove, of I don't care if you hire me or not. Here's my good info. And when they call you back, you knew that they meant to they should be your customer.
And it's not like you don't. I think, and I know you're not saying the word "don't care" as in you're indifferent to it. I don't think that you're. I think that we are both very different to it. We care about it. We're not indifferent to the fact that somebody buys or doesn't buy from us. It's providing or presenting the information so that you're educating someone. You're genuinely caring about the process that you're going through, but you don't feel it if they do or they don't buy from you. And ultimately, for me, I would love my life to be just that way. Not caring whether somebody, I don't want to have to worry about the attachment that money has to the transaction. I do the transaction because of the joy of doing the transaction. But a part of what comes along with that reward of closing a transaction is the money. But I would love to be able to say, I'm not doing it because of the money. I'm doing it because of the sheer joy of what I'm the problem I am solving for you, just like you say in your 3-step process. Right.
Yeah, there's a strategy, a philosophy in poker where they say, when you sit down at a poker table, what is your goal? To win, right? No, it's to make the proper decisions. Okay, so when you're at a poker table, there's the right thing to do, the wrong thing to do, and if you're doing that, sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. Now, hopefully, if you're doing it well, you're going to win more than you're going to lose, but luck is a factor. And if really bad poker players lost every single time, they wouldn't play anymore. And it really can apply to sales as well. So when you're a sales guy, and let's say you are a cold call sales guy, right? And you got to make 10 calls a day, and maybe you go a week and you didn't make any sales and you start getting pissy and beating on it. Okay. You want to examine the process and make sure that your process is working properly. But as long as you're doing the right thing to try to get the sales, they'll come when they come. And if they don't, then don't worry about it. Yeah.
But like I'm saying, if you embrace the outcome is not the be all end all. So if I'm a door-to-door salesman or if I'm cold calling, Doug, and I hear the word no a lot, and I'm using that as the outcome, then I get shut down. But if I say like, okay, thanks for letting me know. Think about this. If you and Doug or if you and Strickland were going to have a contest right now, and you both had to call people to get Turnkey Podcast clients, and Strickland was going to call until he got 10 yeses, and you were going to call until you got 10 no's. If you were looking for no's, Doug, how much easier would it be to dial the phone?
Much easier.
Right?
Much easier. Yeah, that was one thing that my dad taught me is like go for the no.
Go for the no, right?
Yeah, go for the no.
And then when someone says, "I'm sorry, Doug, not right now," and you're like, "Yes, I'm 1 for 1." And Strickland, on the other hand, hasn't even dialed his first number because he's so afraid of hearing the word no because he's trying to get yes.
Yeah.
So when you let go of that outcome, all of a sudden you're not attached to it, and it's powerful.
Well, Sean, in the time that I've known you, I've known you as an extremely confident person. So I always feel like, does the no affect you less than it affects somebody like me?
No, it hurts. Because when you stop taking no's personally, though, that's the key, right? There's a little parable that I like to tell people. Remember when you were a kid and you'd go out for trick or treat, and you'd go down the street with your friends and you'd knock on a door and there wouldn't be anybody home. Mm-hmm. Well, did you take that as a negative? Did you say like, oh, they didn't like my costume or they didn't like my friends I'm hanging out with? You just went to the next house because it's screw it. That's where the candy is, right? So you got to keep going to the next house. It's not easy, but it's that fall down 7 times, get up 8, right? And the problem is on days that you're so afraid of getting a no, you're not going to get a yes sitting at home waiting to avoid the no's, So you just, you just send one more thing. You try and build one more relationship. You try and solve one more problem and try and have fun.
This is starting to sound like real business advice.
It is.
Well,
we've closed the wheel. We've cleaned the wheel.
I know, it's crazy. First time ever.
Is it really the first time we've ever cleaned the wheel?
I cannot remember a week ever where we have gotten to every single topic.
Strick, while the wheel is completely empty, you think it's time to like grease the axis and the little axle and all that stuff? I mean, you really have not done any maintenance. It's like my ceiling fan. It's a little bit on the forward facing side. It's a little dusty.
How do you know? Are you looking at it? That's my wheel. You don't know that I haven't been doing that.
Sean, we've been spinning the wheel for probably 6 months or so.
Yeah, about 6 months.
I doubt very seriously that the wheel has been dusted even once.
What a perfect time to ask the Nice Guys community to send in something maybe to the Facebook page and fill that topic wheel back up.
No. Oh my God, Sean, we spent the entire, you haven't heard it yet because it hasn't aired, but it has aired as of the time of this, but we spent the entire show talking about is our show about our show.
Our show, yeah. And we decided that often it is, and if somebody doesn't want it to be anymore, just reach out and tell us.
Yeah. Just kind of like we're doing now.
Exactly. But we haven't done this whole show. We've been really good about this show.
Rick, we're almost 50 minutes in. We've broken the promise that we made probably almost a year ago that said that we will not have hour-long shows anymore.
No, we're going to try to keep them shorter. Yeah,
okay.
Well, I'm just glad that this conversation has kept us company because I'm driving home right now after dropping my daughter off at college. So it's been nice to have this conversation.
Oh, you just took Riley to school?
Yeah, I dropped off yesterday.
And how long a drive is it? Where is she going to school?
University of South Carolina.
How far is that from Columbus, Ohio?
8 hours.
Holy shit! So you drove 8 hours?
8 hours, yes.
Oh my gosh! We're now in your mind. Are you listening to the show on the front half of the drive or the back half of the drive?
I usually listen to the show when I first. It's the first show I listen to, so it's early in the drive. So tears are still in the eyes.
well, we are glad that we could fix you all up, Sean, and maybe make you laugh a little bit.
Yeah, of course. You guys always do.
Jeez. Hey, Strick, why don't you do the honors of getting us out of here, and we'll do a whole bunch of recordings of introductions now.
Yeah, we're gonna record our intros for the last 2 weeks of shows now because Doug's going on vacation again.
Hey, Sean, appreciate you being here, man. Hey, thanks for being in the community, all the support that you have provided for the last year or so. And thanks for keeping me up to date with This Happened a Year Ago in my life with those, what is it, like Rapid Rewind?
My little time hop, time hop. Yeah. And I love that when you had a good guest or said something funny or did something goofy, I try and send it to you guys. So check that out, guys. Thanks. Time Hop. It's the Time Hop app. So thanks for letting me be on, guys. I really appreciate your friendship and all the work you do on the podcast.
Nah, love having you here. Strick, why don't you do the honors?
Love it. Thanks, Sean. Steve O'Brien, go ahead and take us out of here.
If you're hearing my voice right now, you obviously enjoy the podcast. So why not help the guys out? Click on the Patreon link in the show notes, and for as little as $2 a month, you can show your support. Or show us whatever you want.